Shohei Ohtani starting tonight for the Dodgers. Rafael Devers is a Giant out of the blue. And the Pope's wearing White Sox gear. I mean, so to make heads or tails out of all of this, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Passan of ESPN back on the program. Good to see you, Jeff. Did I kind of sum it all up? What's happening? Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, what do we have to talk about at this point now? Like, you hit the news, we're good to go. I'll be on my merry way. This was fun, Rich.
Yeah,
Thank you.
But in all honesty, normally with baseball, it's like, how did they screw it up? What's wrong with umpiring? What about the new rules? But this is the good stuff, right? Like this is
great stuff.
This is like football type of stuff. Who's starting at quarterback? That's Ohtani. And then what about these trades? You know, it's like football, basketball stuff for baseball. This is good. This is, for the lack of a better, analogy for Chris and Red Sox fans, this is the good stuff, Jeff.
This
right?
is great. It's exciting. Major League Baseball season, Rich, lasts for 6 months. And over the course of those 6 months, there are not a lot of moments that really resonate with the general fan. But I think the fact that a player unlike any we've seen in the history of the game coming back to do the very unique thing that he does, it's big, and it's not going to be all that exciting because it's only going to be 1 or 2 innings. We're not going to see him like going out for a complete game or anything. But Shohei Ohtani, after 22 almost months on the shelf, following his second major reconstructive elbow surgery, is going to be back on the mound for the first time in a Los Angeles Dodgers uniform. And you compound that with Rafael Devers, one of the 10, maybe 15 best hitters in all of baseball, going from one of the marquee teams in the sport, the Boston Red Sox, to the San Francisco Giants, seemingly out of nowhere. It's been a fun 24 hours for baseball.
No doubt about it. Jeff Passan here on the Rich Eisen Show, right here on Roku, back on the Rich Eisen Show radio network, sitting at the Rich Eisen Show desk, furnished by Grainger with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Jeff Passan back here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, let's just jump right into it, Jeff. Why was Rafael Devers traded on Sunday?
It was a combination of things, Rich. And I think it all starts back in spring training when Rafael Devers was asked to be moved off of third base. And he said, no, I don't want to do that. He's been a third baseman his whole career. And even though Alex Bregman is an objectively better defensive third baseman, the communication throughout the winter with Devers had suggested that he was in no danger of being moved off the position. So you start with that poor communication. Then you move on to Tristan Casas getting hurt for the year and the Red Sox asking Rafael Devers to move to first base. And after moving to DH, planning on staying at DH the whole season, was told you don't need a glove. Now they're asking him to play first base. And look, he was under a 10-year, $313.5 million contract. And I think, generally speaking, our perspective on athletes is when you sign that deal, the club gets to do whatever they want with you. But he said, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to do that. And there was just this lingering resentment that I think went both ways. From Devers' side, the lack of communication or of clear communication from the organization. And from the organization side, it's like, dude, we're paying you $30+ million a year. Do what we ask. Now, the Red Sox were not going around actively shopping him, but there have been conversations, sources have told me today, with other teams where Devers' name came up. They never really progressed, but with the Giants, this happened quickly. And I think Buster Posey, who's the president of baseball operations there, saw an opportunity. After missing on Aaron Judge, after missing on Shohei Ohtani, they're still looking for that big bopper in the middle of the lineup. And if all it was going to take for them to get that is to give up Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs, Jose Bayo, and Jordan Hicks and take on $250+ million, that was something that the Giants, who are right now fighting for first place in the National League West, thought was worth it. The Red Sox, in the meantime, looked at not just the relationship with Devers, but the fact that he is signed through 2033 when he's going to be 36 years old for $250 million and probably looking at mostly DH reps, and felt like that money could be better spent elsewhere.
Okay, some follow-ups here, because there is a lot of talk about this being the, baseball version of the Luka Doncic trade, right?
It's not.
Well,
not even close.
Well, I mean, so in that respect, just real quick, they shopped him, or this was like a pocket listing for the Giants, Jeff?
I don't know if it was a pocket listing like specifically for the Giants, but I think when Rafael Devers' name was brought up to the Giants, Buster Posey was like, okay, this is our chance. There are not going to be any big bats available at the trade deadline. This offseason, Kyle Tucker is going to cost $400+ million. And there really aren't any decent bats beside him that are going to be free agents. So the opportunity over the next couple of years, when Willie Adames is still in his prime, when Matt Chapman is still in his prime, the opportunity to add to that felt urgent for the Giants. And, I give Buster Posey credit. Like, he went against the math here. You talk to any organization in baseball, and they look at Rafael Devers' contract and say that it's underwater. And moving a guy like that, Rich, it's a difficult thing to do because so much of the money needed to be taken on. And it was mitigated in part with Jordan Hicks's contract, which is about $30 million left on it. But even so, it's a $200+ million commitment for a guy who could presumably wind up spending the vast majority of his bats as a designated hitter. And that's a contract where if you were out in free agency asking for $200+ million for a DH only, chances are you aren't going to get it. But right now, he fits the Giants perfectly. And the real question, I think, for Red Sox fans and for the Red Sox themselves is, how much do you care about 2025? How important is this season to you? Because you're sure not treating it like it's important when you're trading your best player.
Well, and in that regard, another way this wouldn't be like the Luka trade is Luka wanted to stay and was stunned. Did Devers say he wanted to go? Is this potentially something that we don't see? We only see the tip of the iceberg, that, Alex Cora was managing his head off here and there was no hint of it publicly, but behind the scenes, it was untenable. Jeff, is that possible?
It depends who you talk with about the formality of a trade request. I don't think there was a specific trade me situation with Devers. I haven't gotten that. But I think both sides recognize that the relationship was not just fractured, but straight up broken and irrevocably so, it turns out. And, Rafael Devers, he loved Boston. He loved playing for the Red Sox. But one thing, Rich, that we've seen again and again and again is that when players are on their way out in Boston, tends to get kind of nasty. And this is one of those situations where I think inside the clubhouse and in the front office, they were just tired of it. Like, we're paying you this much money and you won't even try to learn a position that would help your team win during the season. Like, really? That's the guy that you are? That's not the guy that we thought we were signing when we gave you $300 million. But I get Rafael Devers' perspective too. The Red Sox did not communicate well with him this winter, right? They didn't say to him, hey, these are the possibilities. This is what would happen if it. No, they said, you're a third baseman. And so he comes into camp and all of a sudden he's not their third baseman anymore. Wouldn't feel great. But hey, you're going to stick at DH. We're not moving you off that. That's the plan. And then they go back to him and say, well, actually. And anytime a sentence starts with, well, actually, it doesn't tend to end with something that you want to be hearing. So, when it breaks down like that, Rich, repairing a relationship like that is extremely difficult. And I think the Red Sox saw this as an opportunity not only to get that off the team, but also to get the money off the team. Now, is that right? Is that smart? Is that worthwhile? Remains to be seen. And a lot of it depends, I think, on how Rafael Devers ages.
Few minutes I have left with Jeff Passan here on the Rich Eisen Show. Moments ago, talking about Ohtani's first start as a Dodger, you mentioned just 1 or 2 innings. It's just going to be a cup of coffee, sort of like a bullpen game, you think, tonight?
Under normal circumstances, when somebody's coming off of reconstructive elbow surgery, he will go down to the minor leagues and make like 5 or 6 starts and build up to the point where he can throw 70, 80, 90, maybe even 100 pitches in a game. Shohei Ohtani does not have that luxury because it just so happens that he's like the second best hitter in the world. And so this is the Dodgers' way of just getting him out there and saying, hey, let's see what you got, kid. Let's see what we're working with right now. And nobody knows exactly how this is going to go. I mean, I imagine they would not be putting him out there if the stuff weren't impressive. I imagine they would not be putting him out there if he hadn't said, I want to pitch in a game now. And look, the Dodgers are an organization that listens to their players and respects what they're saying. And they're giving Ohtani the chance to go out there and show, okay, yeah, he is big league ready. And he is, if not back to what he was beforehand, then at least a close enough facsimile that he can be pitching in the big leagues.
And they could use him too, right, Jeff? I mean, obviously, you could use Ohtani anytime, but in particular, their staff is not healthy here mid-June, Jeff.
Rich, they could use you right now. And
I pitched in a Dodger uniform, sir. First pitch, much better than Taylor Lewan.
I was going to say, if you throw better than you run, they can absolutely use you.
Oh. Excuse me, you just denigrated 2 of my 5 tools, Jeff. What the hell? Come on. With my voice, 6 tools. I'm a 6-tool guy with my voice.
You are a 6-tool player.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate that. But
it's a very handsome and athletic man.
Thank you very much.
That's what you're known for.
God bless you. God bless you for that. But yeah, I mean, they could. This is going to be, and plus, it's. I just mentioned it's going to be a festival, right? Like Fernando Nomo type stuff when he starts in Dodger Stadium. Jeff,
yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's going to be a festival tonight, like against the Padres.
Correct.
You know, like they're facing their biggest rival right now. No disrespect to the Giants, but in recent years, the Padres have made that ascent to become that. And I'm just, as somebody who loves baseball, I'm just really excited to see him back out there because Ohtani as a hitter, it's great. Ohtani as a two-way player, it's different. It's unique. It's special. It's Babe Ruth, except in 2025. And every moment that he has out there trying to do both, I think we as baseball fans need to appreciate.
Well, let me tell you this, man. Fun stuff. Ohtani starting against the Padres. Giants acquire Rafael Devers from the Red Sox, who, by the way, are in San Francisco Friday night. So this is not going away. It's only going to percolate. And then, my gosh, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Red Sox at Giants. Let's roll. It's going to happen.
Can't wait.
It's going to be great. Jeff, thanks for the time. Greatly appreciate it.
You're the best, Rich.
Right back at you. That's Jeff Passan of ESPN here on The Rich Eisen Show, everybody. Catch The Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.